Jacob won't say names, so...
We're not going to mention names here.
But yeah, I had two very nasty producers when I started my blog, so... One of them was actually a very good friend until they made these comments.
My show. No, I just told Valerie that we're talking about her on the show right now. Okay, so I'm going to send you this direct message.
On Twitter or?
On Twitter.
Okay.
All right, check your direct message on Twitter here and
okay.
See if I was correct.
All right, I'm waiting for your reply.
Oh, what did?
That's one of them. Yes, the one out of Pittsburgh. I'll tell you. I'll message you.
Oh, wait. It's not who I think it is.
Here, you'll see.
Yeah, I've actually met her and her husband.
Yeah.
I've met her and her. In fact, they actually took me out for a birthday dinner when I was in Pittsburgh last year.
Oof. I won't go much into it. She and I were friends for a long time, and then I don't know what happened. She just kind of blew up on me back in June about my blog.
Yeah, not gonna.
Yeah. It's in the past. I'm doing a lot better. So
Valor just replied that says, "I'm really glad to hear that, and thank you for mentioning me on your show." My pleasure.
I just typed that myself.
But yeah, I met her and her husband when I was in Pittsburgh last year. They took me out for a birthday dinner, and then brought me back to the airport for some reason.
Yeah, that's a little sketchy, but okay.
But yeah, so I wasn't sure if. But
I'll message you later what happened between us. So.
But I did get the one correct.
Yes. Part of it, yeah. Other one I never really had any dealings with.
Well, the other one is she's a friend. I haven't talked to her in a minute though, because there was issues with us, as well as issues with others. And I'm trying to work on all that.
Right.
But
I've definitely learned what this industry is kind of like working my blog. So
yes.
I try to keep a very positive demeanor with everyone I talk to, and just keep my head down. Yeah,
just keep your head down. Don't piss off the wrong people. And God knows I've pissed off enough people on this show. But anyhow, I think. So, do you follow any sports like Clem? I mean, Jesus, God Almighty, he's all over the place.
Not really. I mean, I'm a guy. I like sports, but just not a diehard. I mean, closest thing to sports I still kind of watch is pro wrestling. Yeah.
So, what's your take on Undertaker?
He should retire a long time ago.
So, Joe, how old are you, if I may ask?
37.
Okay, so I remember the Undertaker before he was the Undertaker.
Mark Callis.
Before that.
Oh, the Painmaker?
The first it was the Master of Pain, and then it was
that's it.
The Punisher.
Yeah.
When he was in Texas. And of course he was Texas Red.
Right.
And was also Punisher Dice Morgan in Japan for a brief spell before he became what we know as. But you hear that they're doing a farewell to him at Survivor Series.
Which is appropriate. That's where he made his debut for WWE.
Yep, 30 years ago. And I remember watching that show very vividly.
I do too. I was a young kid, and I remember watching that guy come out, and my eyes were like, "What the hell?"
And the first words out of my mouth were, because we had a bunch of family and friends over, and I'm all of 13 years old, and the first words for me were, "That's Mean Mark."
You knew who he was.
I knew exactly. I mean, and this was before, the advent of the internet and the dirt sheets. I mean, the dirt sheets had been around, but, they weren't as widely available. You couldn't really subscribe to them unless you read some obscure magazine that, promoted them. But, yeah, in the eras before the internet and dirt sheets and all that, yep, I knew it was Mean Mark.
Was it 1988? Went to a house show. Remember Junkyard Dog?
Oh, yes. JYD. God bless him.
He was winning match, bring the kids in the ring. I was one of the kids that night. It was fun.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a lot of interactions with pro wrestlers in my life. In fact, on my Facebook page, my profile picture is a picture. There's three people in the picture. On one side is my buddy Mikey. Different spelling, of course. Mm-hmm. And he's wearing one of my Deadpool t-shirts. On the other side, I'm there with a green Irish Deadpool t-shirt. And it was appropriate because in the middle of the two of us was the Irish lass kicker, Miss Becky Lynch. A pre-man Becky Lynch.
Oh, and she was actually kind of... No, she's always been cool, but I liked her before the pre-man.
Yeah, she was still steampunking. She was still a steampunk, fanatic. And in fact, we helped her pick out some steampunk goggles at the Wizard World Comic Con in Portland when she was there. And so that was pretty cool. And of course, I've had interactions with some old school wrestlers like, Jimmy Snuka. That was fun.
That's a kind of a dark side of wrestling, too, right there with him.
Well, this was like in 1998 when I literally ran into him. I was working at a grocery store in Vancouver that I still work for this company. It'll be 24 years here in a couple weeks. But I was one of the, baggers / stock boys, whatever. And I was pushing a dust mop along the sales floor, and I run into a foot. I look up, and it's Jimmy Snuka. Because he lived in Vancouver.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, in fact, Tamina is from Vancouver. She's born and raised in Vancouver, Washington. But I apologize, and he's like, "Oh, don't worry about it, brother. Where can I find this and this?" I'll take you right to it, sir. I didn't let on I knew it was him until afterwards when I said, "I know who you are, Mr. Snuka." I'm a big fan. I'm just not going to let it show, on the sales floor. I got to keep some professional decorum here. "Oh, no problem, bro. No problem, brother."
I actually, as a kid, I had a pretty random meeting with some big WCW wrestlers back in the day. They just finished a show in Salina, Kansas, and we stopped at a little truck stop right outside of a town called Solomon. And out of nowhere, the two guys behind us was Steve Austin and Brian Pillman.
Oh, the Hollywood Blondes.
Yeah.
The Hollywood Blondes.
And I recognized it because we just got done from the show. And seriously, Pillman was probably the nicest guy I met as a kid.
Oh, Pillman was awesome.
Him and Ted DiBiase probably my two favorites meeting as a kid.
The worst one for me was Billy Jack Haynes.
Oh, I've heard that, yeah.
Oh, God, he is a horrible person.
In 1987, I tried to meet Hogan. That was a horrible idea. He just blew all the kids off.
And I've heard that about Hogan.
And I started crying a little bit because I'm a little kid and that's my hero.
Yeah.
I get a little tap on the shoulder, and it was Ted DiBiase making sure I was okay.
Yeah, so, that's cool, But yeah, I heard Hogan is like that. he's what you see on camera is not who the real person is, and
which unfortunately seems a lot of common with some of these big baby faces. They're not the nicest dudes.
Yeah, the heels are always the nicest ones.
Yeah, it's really odd. Like, you play a bad guy, but hey, off the screen, you're probably the nicest dude in the background.
Triple H actually mentioned that when he was on Conan, the Conan O'Brien show, several years ago. He's like, I'm the biggest jerk on camera. God, I'm such a nice guy. And Conan's like, yeah, you are. So we've come to the point in the show where we must do final thoughts.
Okay.
So, how's your experience been on the show here?
Definitely been a lot of fun. My son's definitely been a good distraction.
Oh, we encourage little ones, even though we are not safe for younger audiences with our.
Yeah. If he was a little bit older, I would not have him down here because his mind is a sponge. He is pretty intelligent, though, so he might repeat a few words to my wife later.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. So we're going to have to keep that at a minimum.
Yeah, that's all right.
So you're only on Twitter, of course.
At the time, I probably will expand eventually. Just once I got myself more established, I don't want to get myself too overwhelmed with work and my blog.
Yeah. So, you got any final words for the listeners?
Again, you want to support my blog, support the companies. If they don't make videos, I can't write about them.
All right, you heard it from the man himself. Well, Joe, thank you so much for coming on to the show today.
I appreciate it.
My final word to you is this, sir. At any time you want to come back on, you're more than welcome.
I appreciate it. I'll definitely do it again.
And we'll try to have maybe either Alex or Clem at the same time.
Okay. That would be kind of fun since I promote mostly scripts that have someone scripted with me.
All right, bud. I'm going to let you go because I got to start getting ready here for my ass whooping.
Yes. Trish is probably going to whoop me all across that ring tonight.
Oh, yes.
All right. Just take it like a man.
Yeah, thanks for the advice.
Say bye, Max.
Bye.
Bye, buddy.
Bye.
Take care, buddy. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the one, the only Mr. Joe Jarrell. It was so nice to finally meet him, and I'm still trying to figure out who this person is that's been trying to call me. She's got like 3 missed calls. Who cares? But thank you so fucking much for listening today, folks. I really do appreciate it. Of course, you can always go back and listen to any one of my episodes on Spotify, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Deezer, Spreaker, of course, and wherever you may get your podcast fixed. Well, that's going to wrap it up here for the Washington Wrestle Talk here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I thank you so much for listening. And just remember, guys, I love you all, and thank you so much, and have a good night. And thank you for listening to the show today. We will see you when I get back at home.